Please welcome our first speaker for this evening, James Rose.
So my name's James Rose from Actura Technology, and we're web developers that respond to emails, finish the job, and don't suck. And I actually dressed up after seeing how well dressed everyone was last time I came. I came in a t-shirt. I think I was the only person. I dressed up for you guys, so I hope you appreciate it. Right, so are you leaving money on the table with your website? So this is a brief introduction to marketing automation and sales funnels. Now, this is really popular in the online space, and a lot of pushback I get from people is that, it's only for online business, it works for digital products and stuff like that, but we've seen this work with so many types of businesses through like printers and architects and brick and mortar businesses all over the place. So start with a quote that 63% of people requesting information from your company today will not purchase for at least 3 months, and 20% will take more than 12 months to buy. And that's usually just a case of them coming to your website and then forgetting about you. It's not that your product sucks or your service sucks. They just come along and then they leave and they'll buy something later on, and it'll probably be from someone else because they forgot about you. Only 25% of leads are legitimate and should advance to sales. And companies that automate lead management see a 10% greater increase in revenue. It's pretty obvious stuff. This is something you should be doing. Yeah, so like I said, the normal process is they'll come along to your website, fill out a form. Maybe they'll call you if you've got a contact form or a phone number, and then if you don't follow up well, it's just gone, and you've lost a sale for no reason. If they're not ready to buy, they're just gone forever. So what you want to do is guide them through that sale, and then when the time comes that they're ready, you want to be front of mind. So hands up if you have a website. Hands up if you have a way for visitors to leave their email on that website. Keep your hand up if it's incentivized. Keep your hand up if you're sending emails to those people automatically. Keep your hand up if you're selling in those emails. We got 2 people, no, 3. 3 people in the room. I think that was the exact same number as last time. So no one's doing this, but everyone should be. So there's 3 main parts to this: to filter out your leads, to sell to them, and to educate them. The first part, we're going to separate the tire kickers because, as you all know, so many people that come through will just be price shopping or whatever, and they'll never even advance to a sale. You can put them into buckets based on their interests. You find who your dream clients are, who your fanboys are. They're going to be advocates for your product and service. And when it comes to sales, I mean, you don't run around at a networking event and start, saying buy my stuff. So the sales process is a process of guiding them through. So you gradually introduce them to what you do and why they should be buying from you. Gives you the opportunity to upsell, to cross-sell, and to get them into recurring payments. And education, education sells. This is standard Chet Holmes Ultimate Sales Machine stuff. The whole half the book is about selling through education. Now, one of the coolest things with marketing automation, so once you've got their email and they visit your website, there's this little connection that's made through cookies, if you're technical. It makes a little connection that can basically hook up that person's activity on your website. So you can see that someone's come through an email, sat on your website for 2 minutes and looked at 3 pages. So once you've got that connection, you can do so many cool things. So what the marketing automation is, it's a value ascension ladder. So again, this is basic sales stuff, so I'm kind of just introducing you here, but as we go up the ladder from visitor to lead to a low-priced customer to higher and higher end clients, what you're essentially doing is giving them something more valuable each time that they'll pay more value for. And we're going to automate that through email marketing and sales funnels, essentially. And from a technical perspective, all it is if this, then do that. So you have a bunch of criteria and then what's going to happen afterwards. So an example might be if they opened an email, you ask them a follow-up question in another email. If they didn't open the email, you remind them that there was this great information or a download that you sent to them. If they clicked a link to your website, then they're interested in that, then you could put a reminder in your own to-do system to call that person because they're interested. And if they opened an email in a cafe in Thailand, spent 10 minutes on your website, started entering a message into the contact form, but didn't hit send, ask them how the coffee is there. It's creepy as hell, but it's possible. This is essentially what it looks like. This is the software we use called ActiveCampaign. It's just a workflow. It's like, do this, then does this happen? Do this flow. If not, then this. And it's just a big tree like this, and it's very easy to build out. You only need two things: the way to capture the leads on your website and the way to automate this, this flow. And they both run at about $9 a month each, so it's very cheap to get into. All right, so the basic funnel. Like I said, we're going to step up through that value ascension ladder, start at a free product and step them up. So first we need to get them onto our list. And I mean, most people mess this up, right? They'll just drive a traffic straight to a landing page where they're giving no real value and ask for email. You know, it's like asking someone to marry before you've even like had the first date, but I think there's a TV show about that now. The main way we do this and our clients do this is through blog posts. So if you can give any kind of valuable information that you can drive traffic to, and then have a little opt-in at the bottom that's just like, oh, so if you want some more, here's, just put your name and email in. The other common way is obviously ads and landing pages where, you would have seen landing pages before, usually got a video and a bit of text and there's an awesome webinar coming up with some amazing secrets. It's always something like that, but and then, so the first step then is you need to craft your lead magnet, and this is what we call, what we call lead magnet. It's where you exchange something in exchange for their email address. So you want to give them value here. This is a classic example, digitalmarketer.com. These guys are like the king of this stuff, a swipe file for social media. And like I said, so some examples are like a property report. I've seen an architect do a report on property, print samples, or like cheap business cards like Vistaprint does. A guide on must-have business card elements, 15-minute phone consultation. This is by far the easiest one because you don't have to make anything. You just put it up, you just say, 15-minute consultation, we'll do X and Y. And you can just put it up straight away. So it works well with coaches and so many businesses, surveys, various things. Now, the biggest thing here, or the biggest mistake I see with this is people not taking their time. It's got to be valuable to your target audience. So a lot of people just throw up some silly guide that's like 5 cool ways to work from home. Like honestly, I see some of the silliest titles and the silliest lead magnets that if you just think about it and you craft something that's valuable to your audience, they're going to want to put that email in, which starts this whole process. But it should be quickly consumed, under 10 minutes, low cost to you, and highly relevant to one of your avatars. So as an example with us, we have content marketers as an avatar. So we have a blog post. It's all about must-have like technical, social sharing and that sort of stuff, things that you need on your website if you're serious about content marketing. And then we have an opt-in at the bottom that says, here's the exact tools we use to do all of this. And they can consume it in 10 minutes, see which ones they need to install, and they're done. All right, step 2 is set up the opt-in and lead capture. So that's there's various tools. The example we have, that's the blog that I just spoke about. Down the bottom, there's just a little opt-in, name and email, the exact list of plugins we use. I mean, that's all it is. There's so many different ways to do this. You'll see them in the sidebar, you'll see pop-ups, you'll see ribbon bars. Pretty much any opt-in tool will have all of this stuff built into it. And then we want to build our tripwire, which is that next stage up in the funnel. So that's something that's still low cost to you, but you're actually going to charge them for it. So it's low barrier to entry. So a common price here is like $19. We've done stuff up to about $100. What you're trying to do here is separate the tire kickers. So this is doing that filtration system of when people come to your website, they're not just looking for free info or whatever. Once you've got them to make that little micro commitment, they're much more ready to buy from you something bigger. And you're selling this right after the lead magnet. So they've put their email in, they've made that little commitment, so then you go straight to the sales page, ready to take their credit card, and that's when they're most likely to go through with it. So some examples I've seen done here are initial consult, a book if you've written a book, pretty common one, website checkups, what we do, free plus shipping offers, basic audits, templated documents I've seen done, and it could just be a better version of your lead magnet. So it's, again, that value ascension ladder. It saves them more time in exchange for a bit of money. So like a good one here is that coaches do it all the time, or anyone with a book where it's get the first chapter with your email address, upsell to the book a week later or whatever. It could be immediately after or a week later. And again, don't rush it. A lot of people will just come up with a random tripwire and think that their work's done. They'll turn the traffic on into this funnel and they'll just make lots of money. But again, you just need to really spend some time on this and make it worthwhile for your client. Yeah, and then from here it's just the Tripwire sales page, which any good web developer or copywriter will do for you, and then your main offer. So again, these are just sales pages. I'm going to show you the flow here, how this works. So this is an incredibly simplistic flow. You can get really, really complex and do cool stuff. Like I was saying before, if they've visited your website 3 times, then maybe upsell them. But basic websites down the left, we've got the opt-in where they put their email address in, the lowball offer, and then your main offer, whatever that is that you're selling. And then you can do things like, say thanks for opting in, monitor if they downloaded. If they downloaded it, then follow them up with some more things. If they didn't, remind them about it maybe a week later, and then eventually funnel them back into that Tripwire. And then from there, you can put them into what they call like a value series, where it can be anything. You can just be blogging regularly. You might have like a list of 10 things that you think all of your clients should know, and you deliver that one a week for 10 weeks or whatever. And in each one of those, you've just got a little link that's saying, if you want us to do this for you, we can do this, and here's our main offer. And the first time is the hardest, right? So once you've done this the first time, you've got your offers all set up, it's by far the hardest time. Hardest the first time. It's just rinse and repeat for all your different avatars. After that, it's much easier. So some of ours are e-commerce businesses, bloggers or content marketers, and local business. And we'll have our own lead magnet, Tripwire, and eventually, they'll be different for each avatar, and then funnel them down into that main offer, which is the same for everybody. On top of this, right, so that's the main bit with the selling. When you get their email address through to trying to get that sale, like that's not going to work every time. And there's that whole thing where I mentioned that they might not be ready to buy for 12 months. And this is what you call a nurture series, where over time you're just delivering them value that they want. And you're nurturing that relationship, so when the time comes, they buy from you. And essentially what we do here is, you might send them special offers and discounts if they're on your list, important news that might affect them. Like I know an IT lady that sends out alerts for various, if there's like security alerts and bad emails going around. We do it for like, vulnerable plugins on sites. If you've got it, you should update it straight away. Things that will interest them. New blog post is easy. If you're a regular blogger, you can just be sending these out to your email list. It drives more traffic to your site, gets more views, which is good for Google, and they'll be reminded about you constantly. Even link to other people's articles. But the thing here is relevancy is absolutely key. So gone are the days where you just had this giant email list that you sent everything to, which is what most people do. That's how you get your open rate just through the floor and end up in that promotions tab in Gmail or Google Apps if you're using that. So you need to be delivering the right things to the right people. And tagging is how you do this. So tagging is a way of, it comes into that if-then flow again. So you can say if they looked at this certain page on your website, then tag them. So if you're an architect and they looked at the kitchens page, you might say they're interested in kitchens if they spent 2 minutes on that page. If they looked at the bathrooms page and went, you don't add that tag. So and you build up this list. So these are a few of ours. They've downloaded a lead magnet for the website mistakes guide. They're interested in sales funnels and blogging. So you can build up this picture of what people are into. So when the time comes to send them something, you can send them exactly what they're interested in. And this works really well with, so again, the online business only thing. It works in offline sales processes as well. This is all blurred out because it's mine, but this is our website funnel, right? So we go from email to in-person meetings to proposals and accepted and work in progress, whatever. So you can manipulate this. So our guys will sit with this in front of them and move people around as required. And with that, you can then fire off sets of emails and rules. So it's not even just marketing you can do with this stuff. We'll get testimonials automatically through this. Once it gets dropped into complete, it'll ask them for, how was the work, blah, blah, blah. It'll keep following up with them through all the jobs going. And you can do all this just totally on autopilot. And once you've got all this set up, a lot of people are scared to spend money on ads, right? But once you've got this set up, once you've got the offers tweaked and you've got an offer that's working, it becomes like a tap. You can literally turn your ads on. We'll get your Facebook guy to turn the ads on, and it just filters through and you get clients. Like that's honestly what happens when you get this right. And well, yeah, just make it happen. A lot of this information's good enough. I mean, it's good and all, but if you don't go out and actually start doing this, it's not going to, nothing's going to happen. It took me a year from the first time when I learned about this to when I actually implemented it, and it was like the stupidest thing I've ever done because it was just so easy once it started working. That's me.